Let's Talk Cancer is our topic tonight. It's one that our viewers have asked for and we've promised to revisit. Cancer has struck some of the most prominent persons in St. Lucian society and many others whose names the public will never hear. Many of them are still fighting to survive this killer disease. As The Law Factor Live ends a month focused on men, we ask you to face some of your health fears with a personal story of pain and survival, herbal remedies to get you thinking, and a warning to all men and the women who love them. Let's Talk Cancer tonight on The Law Factor Live.
The views expressed in this program are those of the host and guests and in no way represent those of GBS and are not intended to determine decision-making processes. The Law Factor Live is brought to you with compliments of Lime, Organica, AF Valmore, EC Global Insurance, Cars for Rent, Transit TV, Global, Carpet Media, Prestige Auto Holdings Limited, Florence Gary, Star Publishing, Infinity Color Shop, Touch Therapy, La Mer Spa, Baywalk Shopping Mall, Automotive Art,
Welcome to The Law Factor Live. I'm Delia Delore. When we last discussed cancer, I took the bold step of showing an x-ray of my mammogram in the hope that it would trigger women to get their mammograms done too, and it worked. The men, however, felt excluded, so we promised we would return to discuss cancers that were more prevalent to men, but like breast cancer, most cancers don't care about your sex. Tonight, our guests will bare not their breasts, but their personal stories in the hope that it will encourage you to consider your health before you have no choice but to deal with it, and in the hope that you will visit your doctor and get checked. On the set tonight, I'd like to welcome back oncologist Dr. Owen Gabriel. Good night and welcome again to The Law Factor Live, Owen.
Thank you, and thank you for having me once again.
And I know that it's going to be a very informative show because I got a sneak preview of some of the pictures we're going to show the viewers. And viewers, let me tell you, I'm going to have to warn you, but if you want to learn, you stay with us, okay? But I'll warn you so you can turn away if you want to. So Owen, I'm really hoping that tonight is going to be as informative, and I'm sure it will be, as the first time when you were on and we spoke again more on female cancers, but tonight we'd like to, as I said, talk about the cancers that are more prevalent to men. So
absolutely, and this month, it's International Men's Health Awareness, and certainly for other things like diabetes and hypertension, we've done many activities, and men are always on the back burner where it comes to health overall, and certainly for cancer, men are more prone to dying than women all over the world with cancer. So we think it's important to have this kind of show where we highlight some of the cancers that affect men, and certainly some of the things that we can do to ensure early diagnosis and therefore guarantee a more positive outcome.
Good, and that's exactly what we're looking for tonight. So stay with us and gather the strength that it may need to actually go and see your doctor. Now, our main guest tonight is no stranger to the talk show arena, but never before has he spoken so openly about being a cancer survivor. So I'd like to thank you so much, Rufus Bousquet, for joining us tonight.
Well, it's really a pleasure to be here. I've survived for something like 15, 16 months since my initial diagnosis. So I suppose in a sense, when compared to other persons who unfortunately are not here with us today, I can consider myself lucky. But it's a never-ending battle, and you basically live with a gun to your head because it's something that can return with, it always seems to return with more devastating effect than originally. So hopefully I don't experience that, but nonetheless it's good to be able to share the story, and hopefully that'll help some people to catch theirs a lot earlier than I caught mine.
Yeah, and I think the thing about cancer, when one person says to the other, oh, so-and-so has cancer, and until it happens to you, perhaps, you don't truly understand what that person is going through. Would you say that?
Well, I would say that, but I think what I noticed that is that a lot of persons who are in, shall we say, the public eye, they tend to shy away from exposing the fact that they have disease, that they have, that, you know, cancer, whatever the case may be, especially. And very often, people sort of hear about it by the wayside and they drop out of sight, and they seem to prefer it that way because, to some extent, I think the power nature of politics in particular makes people don't want to seem weak and vulnerable. And of course, illness always denotes a certain degree of weakness and vulnerability. That's the obvious connection that the mind makes with it. But on the other hand, I was happy to note that when I came out with it, I would meet friends of mine and different persons who had never, for example, had a colonoscopy, and they would meet me and say, "I went and did my colonoscopy, you know, everything is all right now, you know," and that sort of thing. So I think in some small way, I don't know the extent of it, obviously, but in some small way, it did influence people to do some of the checks that are necessary to try and ensure that, at the very least, you catch these things in its very early stages.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here tonight, because we'd like to encourage other people too. So we'll be talking about the symptoms, we'll be talking about, you know, what you should be doing, and as I said, we are going to be as honest as we can with you, and you do have an opportunity as well to call in. Now, I know that we have an inquisitive audience who want to hear Rufus's story, but let me remind the viewers that every one of us deserves to have the best chance of survival, and that's one of the main factors we want you to acknowledge tonight. We will discuss with Dr. Gabriel what you can do to lessen the odds of getting cancer and how to improve your chances of survival. Is there anything else, Doctor? What are you hoping that we'll achieve tonight?
Well, I'm happy that we mentioned the question of a human being in the social environment. I wanted to highlight tonight that, you know, we want to emphasize the question that health is not the simple absence of disease or infirmity. There's a definition for health that we all subscribe to, which means it's a state of complete physical, mental, spiritual, and social well-being. So, you know, the human being in a society, just because he doesn't have a pain or a discomfort or is bleeding and so on, does not mean that he's absolutely healthy. And I think, you know, we have an example of, you know, that recognition that in our society, if you were a prominent person, that just being that, you know, your health, it means more than that. You have to be comfortable, and you have to be uniform with your environment. That definition also extends to being socially and economically productive. So in most cases, and we will discuss this tonight, where the symptoms, a patient with a cancer may have no symptoms at all, it is an opportunity for a man or a woman to visit his doctor or her doctor regularly, annually in this case, notwithstanding that there's nothing to report, as in a painful episode, bleeding or otherwise, because your health is more than just the absence of some disease. You know, there are things that we look at in a wholesome way that, you know, will tell us that this person might not be in balance with everything that has to do with health.
Okay, well, viewers, you heard, so you've got nothing to do but remain here. Later tonight, we'll be talking to Maurice Moffat. He's a cancer patient who uses alternative herbal treatments that he considers less intrusive. But let's quickly do housekeeping. World AIDS Day is this Saturday, and MAC Cosmetics will match all Viva Glam product sales on any maccosmetics.com e-commerce sites. So typically, one Viva Glam purchase can buy 5 meals for a person living with HIV, but the donation means that MAC will be able to provide 10 meals when you purchase 1 lipstick. And tonight I'm actually wearing Viva Glam 5. All right, so obviously in doing that, I'm providing 10 meals. Okay, so please visit the e-commerce site. And don't forget to support the Optimist Club. They're doing a 50-50 raffle. When you buy a ticket for $20, you have a chance to win $5,000, and the Optimist Club will raise the other half to fund projects. And if you can't afford to purchase a ticket, you can team up with a group and split the cost of the ticket. The draw is on December the 12th, 2012. And stay tuned, because we have a surprise for a Dulo Factor fan later. Our set features a beautiful arrangement of pink ginger lilies and pink and purple anthuriums, purple orchids and baby's breath. What a fitting selection for tonight's show from Garden Gate. And they're actually located at Bois d'Arche. Our painting this week depicts one of St. Lucia's many cultural traditions at Christmas time, bamboo bursting. The painting is available at the Inner Gallery, St. Lucia's premier art and picture framing gallery located along the Bois d'Arche Highway. This week's Delore Factor fan is Nadine Phillip. Now, Nadine shares her thoughts on DFL, so read them on DeloreFactorLive.com. Thank you so much, Nadine, for being a fan. Now, you know all the time we have to have a two in a row, and the Doctor and Rufus are not going to escape. And we decided that we were actually going to ask the same question. And the question for both of them, and I think, who shall I start with first? I'm going to start with the Doctor first. Here's a question. Is there another meaning to your name?
Oh yes, as far as I know, I think my name is from Scottish in origin, and if I remember correctly, it means leader of sheep and keeper of sheep.
Okay, I won't say anything.
I think it's quite fitting, you know, because my surname is Gabriel, so you have all these peaceful, angelic and positive connotations.
Well, I wouldn't have connected them to sheep, would you?
Definitely.
Okay, Rufus.
Well, I mean, in my peculiar circumstances, my name depends on where you sit. But I will talk in terms of the true meaning of my name.
Okay.
It's interesting. I never knew this for a very long time, and I discovered it on my own. We have a lot of religious people all over the world, and but very few people recognize that Rufus is a biblical name. There is, it's, I think, Romans 13, chapter 12, I think, if not that close, in which it states specifically that Rufus, chosen in the Lord, and his mother, who is mine as well. And that's in the Bible. And I never knew that. And I recall being on an airport in Las Vegas about 15 years ago. And there was this lady there who was very, very religious. And she said, "I love your name." And I didn't know what she meant, you know. And she told me about that. I paid no attention to it. Not in that detail that I'm giving you today, but she said it's a biblical name. And I just paid no attention to it until years later that I actually discovered that it was in the Bible.
Okay.
There you
wow,
go.
wow. When I heard you know Owen's name, I instantly thought Angel Gabriel.
Well, yes.
Not because I thought he was Angel
Well,
Gabriel,
he's a
but
famous
so it's his patience. I'm sure he is. But yeah, but I won't tell you what my name means, because it's what my name means. I'm really not like that at all. Let's just leave it like that.
Do some research.
Okay, as we go to the break, the Nobel Laureate Week Committee has begun their promotions of the week in 2013, yes, with a quiz. How well do you know St. Lucia's Nobel Laureate? Every week until January 2013, a new question will feature in the local media, and lots of prizes are promised. Thank you to DBS, GIS, NTN, RSL 97, The Wave, The Voice, The Star and Lime for providing information and promoting the question every week. And you can also participate here. This week's question is, what year did Sir Arthur Lewis receive his Nobel Laureate Prize, and what did he receive it for? Send your answers to nobelquiz@DeloreFactorLive.com. That's nobelquiz@DeloreFactorLive.com. Now, what have you been waiting for? Of course, tonight's giveaways. Here's the first question. Name 2 risk factors and the 4 most common types of treatment for prostate cancer. To win a free consultation for you and a family member with Dr. Gabriel. Now, you know what that means. You need to listen carefully to tonight's program if you don't already know the answers. All right, and what a great prize that is. I wouldn't even say a prize, it's something that's so essential anyway. So, you know, that's something really good to get. So name 2 risk factors and the 4 most common types of treatment for prostate cancer. Question number 2. The Meguiar's Brilliant Solutions new car care kit includes 7 different precisely selected products to wash, dry and wax your car. Name any 4 of those products. So name any 4 of the Meguiar's products to wash, dry and wax your car, and you receive this complete car care kit. And it's huge, it's really nice, and I want it. Last question tonight. Provide 3 colors that make up Infinity Color Shop's logo. Provide 3 colors that make up Infinity Color Shop's logo, and the winner will be chosen next Thursday, but they will receive $100 off a purchase of $350. And if you're a builder, that is just a wonderful, wonderful gift. But you don't need to be a builder. Anything you want in that shop. You spend $350, you get $100 off. As always, the questions are on DeloreFactorLive.com and Facebook, Delore Factor Live TV show, and on our BBM profile. When we come back, the truth about cancer and the most open conversation that cancer survivor Rufus Bousquet has given about his health. So don't go away. We'll be right back.